Hello everyone and welcome back. In this part, I will show you how to download and install a container-based image and how to deploy a Windows container. Let me first clear the screen. Alright, so we want to install two base images. The first one is a Windows Nano Server base image and then a Windows Server Core base image. In order to download and install a Nano Server base image, you will need to issue the command docker pull, and then you will want to put the path of this image, the path on Microsoft of this image. So the path is mcr.microsoft.com/windows/nano server, and then the version that you are downloading, 143.93.1066. Alright, so there's a typo here. Let me remove this double dot. So it's downloading now. You can see this is the image ID and it's pulling this nano server, this specific version from Microsoft website. There is the first image is 252 mega and 116 megabyte in there. And there's one thing to note in here. Before 2019, you didn't actually need to highlight these. You didn't need to list these. The Microsoft used to have a tag that is called the default tag, and all you needed to do is issue the command docker pull mcr.microsoft.com/windows/ and here you can say nano server or server core or server 2019 or any other server you want, and you didn't have to define the build because it will by default take the latest version. But in early 2019, Microsoft stopped and removed this default tag, and now you cannot pull any base image from Microsoft website unless you know exactly which version that you are pulling. They deprecated the latest tag. On top of that, now you cannot, Microsoft requires that the host operating system version match the container OS version. So if you want to run a container based on a newer Windows build, you want to make sure you have an equivalent host build. Otherwise, you will have to use Hyper-V isolation to run older containers on new host builds. For us, this build is it matches the build of the container host that we have. It's downloading. I will pause the video until the download finish, and then we will pull the server core from Microsoft website. The server core file size is going to be much larger than this because you know Nano server is very minimum. It's a very compact version of the operating system. So you will notice a difference in the size. Alright, so the download has completed, pull is complete, and here you can see the Nano server image is downloaded. I can check that by saying Docker images, and I can see here this is my Nano server, this is the image ID, this is the size, and this is when it was created. So now I want to go ahead actually and pull the server core. In order to do that, you issue the command docker pull mcr.microsoft.com/windows/server core, and the build that we are looking at is 1607. And now it's pulling from Microsoft website, and as you can see here, we have 4 gigabyte, the base image size. So I will go ahead and pause this video and we'll pick up once the download completes. As you can see in here, it's still downloading. So give it a few more moments. Now the download has completed and the extraction of the base image is almost done. Next, we will be creating a container that is called IIS. You can think of it as if you want to run Apache or Internet Information Server, Microsoft Internet Information Server on a special container. However, we're not actually running IIS on that container. It's just a name we're using, but to give you an idea that you can create a container that is called IIS. We're almost there. Alright, so the download and the extraction of these base images just finished. I'll go ahead and issue the command docker images in order to see that the second image has installed. Alright, so you can see here we have the server core and our build is 1607. This is the size of this build, and we have the nano server, and this is the build number, and this is the size of this build. These are base images. Let me see if we have any containers that are running. In order to do this, you issue the command docker ps, and you can see there are none. There are no running containers currently. No, these base images, none of them is running currently. First thing I want to show you actually is how to delete an image. So we'll go ahead and we want to delete this base image that's called nano server. We want to delete it. In order to delete an image, you issue the command docker rmi, and then you have to put the image ID. So I will try to copy this image ID. I haven't installed the VMware tool, so I don't know if I will be able to copy it. No. All right. So I'm going to type it in here, A943C29F0046. And we're going to delete this image ID. And it has deleted it. Let's double check docker images. And now we only have the server core image, as you can see in here. So to download and install, as in extract an image, you download it from Microsoft Store using the docker pull. And in order to delete an image that you don't need anymore, you use docker rmi and you use that image ID. Now let's create a container. Let's start a container based on the server core. I'm going to clear the screen. In order to create a container, you will use the command docker run, and then you'll give the name. In our case, we'll use IIS, then -it, and then you will give the path to Microsoft.com to the base image. That will be Windows Server Core, and in our case, it's build 1607. Let's go ahead and run this container. And now this is the running container. In order to check that, I will go ahead and open another PowerShell in here and move it a bit in here and say docker ps. And as you can see here, there is a container. There's the container ID, there's the container name, and there is the base image of the container, and what time it was created. So we know that this is the container that is running. So everything in here you do, this is inside the container. Go ahead in here and say exit, and you can exit the container in here. Again, you type exit to exit the container. Now if you go ahead and say docker ps, you shouldn't be able to see any container running because you exited the container that you created. Now if you let's try to create another container actually that we will perform specific tasks in there. So I will go ahead and clear the screen in here. I will create a specific container that echoes the words hello world into a text file. So let's create a new container, docker run, and then we are going to use the same base image, microsoft.com/windows/server core, and our build is 1607. And for this container I want to run command.exe. Now I am inside the container. In here I am going to type echo hello world w4102, and I will redirect this into a file called hello.txt. This is what I want my container to run, and then I will exit this container. Alright, now let's see what containers do we have. So we do have the IIS from before, and we do have our container now that we run command.exe. Now what I want to do is I want to create a new hello world image that includes the changes in the container that we just ran. In order to do so, we need to run the command that is docker commit. So we'll go ahead and say docker commit, and in here we have to put the container ID. In our case it will be this ID. So EFA 507 3OF and 382. And then what is the name of the image that I want to commit this container to? I'm going to call it hello world. So now it's committing our image, our container that we echoed the word hello world .w into a text file. It's creating an image that's called hello world that I can deploy anywhere. I can take this image, this hello world, and execute it in any platform, Linux, Windows, Mac, anywhere. It contains everything that it needs in order to run in any place. So I'm waiting until the container is created, and then I will show you how do you run this this new container. Alright, so now the creation of this container image has finished. I will be running this container, using the docker run command. First, let me see docker images. Now I should have a new image, as you can see here. Before I only had the server core base image that I have downloaded from Microsoft website. Now I have a new image that's called hello world, and this image contains everything that I've done inside that container. Now let's run this container by using the docker run command, and we are going to use the rm option. This parameter automatically removes the container once the command line stops. So I'm going to type the container name and then command.exe, and then I will ask it to actually type the contents of hello.txt. I want to see what's in this file. As you have expected, the container ran and it executed the echo hello world into the hello world hello.txt, and now I'm able to type the hello.txt from inside this container. Once the execution of the command.exe with the type hello.txt finished, the rm option removed the container and all its dependencies. What you can do is think of this echo hello world to a text file as your application that you want to package, and think of how easy it is to package everything the app needed in one container that can be started and run on any platform. And this is the use of containers. This actually brings me to the end of this tutorial. I hope you enjoyed learning about how to create and deploy containers as much as I enjoyed showing it to you. Thank you for listening. I'll see you next time.